Hi everyone, and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. As you can probably hear from my voice, I am a little bit sick at the moment. It's Friday now and I got sick at the end of last week, and I've just been recovering for the whole last week, which is so frustrating because it means that my reading plans have been kind of put on hold, and I leave for Europe in about a week now. So I wanted to start this vlog because I really want to get through a little bit more of my May TBR before I leave, because so far I haven't been very successful with the books that I had picked out of the TBR jar for this month. I've read one book, and that's Illuminate, and I did really love this. I flew through this one. It was so quick and easy to read because of the format that it's in. But then I got sick, and so it's almost the third week of May now, and I've only read one physical book anyway. I've also been listening to audiobooks, but I still have my 3 other books that I had planned to read that I picked out with my TBR jar. So I wanted to just get started on reading them. I have downloaded 2 of the books onto my Kindle so that I can read them on my flights and while I'm overseas. And those 2 are Daddy Issues and Book of Night. So I'm wondering if I start Culty today and try and get through it this week before I leave. It's a long book. This one is a 540-page romance book, which is pretty insane. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'm thinking of starting this weekend. The other option is I give up on Culty and I maybe save it for another month's TBR and I start one of these 2, and if I don't finish it, I continue it on while I'm overseas or while I'm on a flight. And I think that might be a better idea just because I don't know if I have the time to finish this book. This last week of being at home is going to be pretty hectic. I'm obviously still trying to recover from being sick, but I also need to kind of get my life in order before I go. I have so many things that I still need to buy, and I still need to organize some of the things that we're doing while we're overseas. And then I also need to wrap up work and do like a handover for while I'm over there, because I'm going to be out of work for 5 weeks. So yeah, it's going to be a busy week. I'm hoping that from tomorrow I start to feel a lot better. But I actually don't have many plans this weekend because I cancelled my plans because I am still sick. But I'm kind of at the point of being sick where I'm going to enjoy reading again, which I'm so thankful for, because the last week I just haven't wanted to read, which has been so sad. So now my only plans for the weekend are to obviously get my life in order, go to the shops, do a bit of shopping for the trip. But it also means that I should be able to get some reading done. So as soon as I decide on what my reading plans are, I will check in and let you know. Alright, I've decided I'm going to start with Daddy Issues, and I'm gonna try and get a little bit cozy because I'm just starting to feel a little bit worse again. I've just completely finished work for the day and my head is just a little bit fuzzy, and I just feel a bit clogged up in the nose and head area, which is so frustrating. But I'm in the mood to read, so I'm gonna, try and get comfy and cozy and get started on this hopefully fun age gap romance with a single dad. I'm just checking in because it's the end of the night. I'm about to go to bed and I hardly did any reading tonight. In the end, I read about 20 pages a bit earlier, but I've just felt really crappy, so I kind of couldn't keep going, which sucks because that's like all I wanted to do tonight. But I'm really liking the book so far. I'm only 20 pages in, so I don't know how much I can say, but I like the characters and I really like the writing. I haven't read anything from Kate Goldbeck before, but I'm really enjoying her humor so far. She's pretty funny, and the main character is really relatable. She has a lot of struggles at the moment. She's basically I think she's a 26-year-old who basically, because of the pandemic, had to move back home. She was studying at another state at college, and then she had gotten a fellowship to go and work in Italy, I'm pretty sure, because she was doing like an art degree, and to do I think it's like kind of a master's, a research subject on this artist in Italy. But then because of the pandemic, she had to move back home and move back in with her mum, and it's like 5 years later and she's just kind of been at a standstill. She's done nothing else with her life, and she's been trying to get into different programs and things like that, but she's just struggling. So she kind of has this boring existence where she doesn't know what to do with her days and she just does nothing. And we've already met the guy. I don't know his name yet because we haven't got his name, but we've met him. He's a single dad that she meets by the pool in her mum's building complex. And the reason she meets is because she gets along really well with his daughter. So I'm already seeing this scene. Yeah, the daughter has a really cool personality and they just get along really well, and they just left. But I'm assuming what's going to happen is he's going to ask her to be the nanny or something, because maybe like the kid doesn't get along well with many adults and he's been struggling to find a nanny. I don't know that, I'm just assuming. Also, I found out why this is like comic strip. It's because, so she is an art history major, because she's always loved art and drawing, and that's because of her love for comic books as a kid. And there's like this whole story about her dad being a comic book collector, and all of those boxes in the background of her room are her dad's comic books. I've just double checked, I got to page 35, which is chapter 5. So not too bad, but I definitely wanted to read a little bit more tonight, but that's fine. I'm gonna start getting ready for bed, and hopefully I will do a little bit more reading in the morning if I feel a little bit better. It is Saturday night. I'm thankfully feeling a lot better than I was at this time last night. I've actually had a bit of a productive day today, which is nice because I really needed it. Like I said, we leave in just over a week for our 5-week trip to Europe, so I kind of had a lot to do, so it was very inconvenient that I've been sick. But today I had a pretty big sleep in, which was nice, and then I woke up feeling better. So we did a bit of cleaning around the house and like organizational kind of stuff, so that I had the things prepared that are here, that are ready to pack, but also just to make things a bit neater so that when we get back, everything's kind of sorted and we don't get back to a mess. And then as part of that, we cleaned out the bathroom cabinets, which I showed the end result. They look a lot tidier. There was just so much in there that I ended up getting rid of, which was nice. And it just looks a bit easier to find things now, thankfully. And then we went to the shops because I definitely had a lot that I still needed to buy for the trip that I just hadn't done yet. So I feel a lot more relieved after today. Just feel like I've kind of got everything that I need. And yeah, I was just feeling a little bit stressed because I wasn't properly prepared. But now all we really need to do is pack, which we can do next weekend because we leave the Monday after next weekend. But when we got back from the shops and after having a bit of dinner, I did a little bit more reading of Daddy Issues, and I'm still really having a good time with it. I am still under the halfway point. I'm on page 130 now, chapter 17, and it's just really fun. I'm really liking the author's writing style and her humour. I think I said last night I'm really enjoying, but but I think what's happened since I spoke last night, we have found out that Sam is in this kind of friends with benefits situation with a guy called Hal. And she met him at a comic book store like years ago when she moved back to her hometown from college. And yeah, they had this kind of meet cute meeting, and she got him fired from his job at the comic book store. So at some point she has helped him get a job at the same tiki bar that she works at. So it's now been years, they still work there together, and they have this like casual friends with benefits, but they're also definitely like friends. They have this really cute banter when they work together. I do kind of like Hal, and yeah, he kind of gets her through her shifts with like the fun that they have together. But you can tell that Sam wants more. Like, she definitely wants it to be a relationship, but she is kind of too nervous to say anything, and he's being a little bit confusing about what he wants. So at the moment it's still just this like friends with benefits thing that they're doing. And we've obviously by now probably met Nick. He was kind of introduced at the pool scene at the start, but then she probably met him as their next door neighbor that just moved in, and he's been the one that's been annoying her by making all this construction noise next door. And yeah, I really like him so far. He's definitely like a dad kind of a personality. So he's a single dad, and yeah, just the way that they interact is pretty sweet. But also, yeah, I'm wondering when it's going to turn from what they are now into more of a attraction relationship kind of thing, because where we're at right now, she doesn't see any kind of attraction in him that I can tell. Like, she hasn't really thought about him or the way that he looks in like an attraction kind of way, but at the moment she's still very obsessed with Hal. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm actually liking that that's the way that it's starting, because of that they're building like a friendship, and there are these cute scenes where they are finding out these things that they have in common, but it's definitely just as friends. Like, it's nothing more, because in her mind she's like obsessed with Hal and he's just like this single dad who lives next door. But they do have this fun kind of nerdy connection, I guess. Obviously Sam has this huge collection of comic books because of her dad, and she loves art. She loves drawing comic books, and there's just like this collector's kind of obsession that they both have. Nick has this like secret Star Trek obsession, and he has all this like Star Trek memorabilia that she finds in boxes when she's over there, and yeah, that connection that they have is kind of sweet. Oh, and just tonight when I was reading, there was this really fun scene where Nick and Hal finally meet at the tiki bar where they work, because Nick is coming over to offer to give her a lift home. And then Hal kind of gets jealous and a bit possessive, kind of, like a little bit. But the way that he acted in that scene kind of cemented the fact that I definitely like Nick more than Hal, which I'm glad for, because I was liking Hal and I was not sure, because obviously this is going to be a romance between Nick and Sam. But yeah, I definitely prefer Nick now. But it was also just fun to have Nick see the dynamic between Hal and Sam, because she hadn't spoken to him about her relationship status or anything, and he didn't know about this like friends with benefits thing that's going on, and that was just entertaining. But also, where I'm just up to when I just finished reading, Sam is starting to really get on my nerves. She's just starting to feel a bit selfish, self-centered to me. just in general with the way that her life is at the moment. Obviously she isn't a lazy person in general, like she has all these aspirations and she was doing all of these big degrees, but where she is right now, she isn't really doing anything with her life, and she's really not doing anything productive to get her career moving. And she's just had this argument with her mum, where her mum's about to get remarried since separating with her dad like years ago now, and they've all been living together. So her mum's new partner, and Sam have all been living in this little 2-bedroom apartment together, and her mum and her partner are just telling her that they're planning on renting the apartment out and moving to Portugal, which is exciting. I'm going to be in Portugal in a few weeks, actually probably about this time next month. I'm so excited. But yeah, this obviously means that Sam is going to have to find a new place to live, and like, she's a 26-year-old who has a job. So she's been saving money all these last 5 years living with her mum, so surely she can find a place to rent. I don't know, but she just kind of feels a bit selfish in this scene. And yeah, in the scene I'm just kind of finding myself siding with her mum, her poor mum, who's been so welcoming and has allowed her to live in her apartment with her and her partner for the last 5 years. And I don't know, it's just a bit frustrating how she doesn't seem to understand how selfish she's kind of being in this scene. Like, at one point her mum goes, "You don't think Perry and I should have a space of our own?" And then she thinks, because we're in Sam's point of view, "As much as I lament my lack of privacy, I've never considered that my mum might feel the same way." I'm like, are you kidding? You've never thought about the fact that your mum and her new partner might be wanting a little bit of privacy as well? And she's been complaining about the close quarters that she's been in for the entire book too. But anyway, apart from that, I am really enjoying it though. That's just the only little thing that frustrated me, and it only really frustrated me in that one scene, which is the chapter that I just read. Apart from that, it's been a fun time. But yeah, I'm not sure how much I will read tonight. I have downloaded it on my Kindle. It's got a really cute cover. I think this is the proper paperback cover, because this is, oh well, I don't even have the cover on, but the cover on this is a special edition. I really like this one. It's cute. But yeah, I downloaded it on my Kindle like a while ago so that it would be ready in case I hadn't finished it before I leave and I could read it while I was on flights and things. But I'm thinking that I might just use it to read in bed tonight, so I might get a little bit more reading done. Tomorrow my plans are pretty much the same. I just want to be a little bit productive. The next thing I need to tackle is my wardrobe, because I want to, it's just a little bit of a mess. I have too much. I have a lot that I know I want to throw out or donate, but I do want to go through it this weekend so that I can see everything that I have and figure out what I want to take with me on the 5 weeks, what I don't, and yeah, just have it a little bit more organized. And apart from that, I am feeling a little bit better finally, so we can probably actually go and do something tomorrow. I might try and get some exercise in, because I've been sick for the last week, so I haven't been able to do pretty much anything, which has been frustrating. So I might do something tomorrow. Either way, I will check in as soon as I've read a little bit more. It's Sunday morning. It's a horrible day out there. At least it's not raining, but it is so grey, and of course it's the first day that I've kind of been feeling a bit better enough to go outside and to want to go for a walk, and it's just gross, so it's not worth it. I didn't want to push myself, so we just went for a drive. I got my favourite coconut matcha. We just sat in the car, had a little bit of a drink and watched the surfers. Now I'm back, and before I get into more of the like stuff that I need to do today, I wanted to read just a little bit more, just because where I got up to last night, I was so obsessed. I didn't want to put it down. I'm a bit over halfway now, and I was reading on my Kindle in bed last night, and it was getting so good. I am like kind of obsessed with Nick at the moment. There was this scene that just happened. I think in my last update last night, before I did my like last bit of reading for the night, I was talking about how at the point where I was up to, there's like no attraction, and I'm loving how they're just kind of getting to know each other as friends, and that's all it is. But literally as soon as I started reading again after that, there was this scene, the scene at the Chili's that Nick works at, which is this scene. I love, it's like, it was the best scene. It was so good, and I love that I've got a little drawing of it now. But yeah, that scene happened, and yeah, that just like changed everything kind of. So obviously, yeah, I don't want to say too much from now on because I'm so far into the book, but there's definitely attraction happening, and I 100% am off Hal. This other scene happened where he just, showed that he is an immature child, basically. In comparison to Nick, he is a child. And yeah, I'm glad she's like blocked him, and we're really focused on Sam and Nick at the moment, which I'm loving. So I'm gonna do a little bit more reading, but not too much because I have a lot to do today. It's Sunday, and I obviously have the next 5 days of work, and then I've got next weekend, and then we leave the Monday after that, and it's going to be a really busy 5 days, so I want to get as much prepared today as possible. Like I said, I want to do a bit of a wardrobe clean out. I'll see if I get to that because I just feel a little bit tired still. I feel better, but just like a bit exhausted, and we need to finish up planning for our trip because there's still a few things that we need to book while we're over there, and I just want to like go through and have a lot of things saved for all the different locations we're in, so we've got like a list of the things that we want to do. So yeah, I think today hopefully will be pretty productive, just like yesterday. But for now, I'm just gonna settle in for like half an hour or so, finish off my coconut matcha, and read a little bit more of Daddy Issues. It's now Friday afternoon. It's been about a week since I've checked in. I haven't checked in since Sunday, and I haven't really had that much time for reading this whole week. Obviously, I knew that I was going to be working and that it was going to be super busy, but it really has been such a busy week, just both at work, trying to get my work finished up and do all my handovers and everything because I am going to be gone for 5 weeks, and just trying to get my own life organized this week. So I haven't had that much time for reading, but basically the only day that I did read was Monday night, and I got to page 297, which is chapter 38, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to finish it this weekend, so I'm happy about that. I'm really loving it. It's so close to the end now, and I'm thinking it's gonna be either a 4 or a 4.5 stars. I love like everything about it. There was a little bit of a slow part kind of right after the middle of the book where it's so bad, but like everything was just happy and it was just a little bit boring. But where we're at right now, it's kind of been unexpected but really healthy, the way that the plot has developed, and very realistic. I feel like the communication in this is amazing. The communication between them, and just the way that relationships between them and everyone in their lives are working out is very realistic. And I love that right now Sam is just kind of getting her life together. She is finally kind of thriving in what she's doing, and she's like finally trying to find a career for herself, basically, which I love. And I don't want to say too much because I'm at the end of the book and spoilers, but yeah, overall it's just a fun romance with like witty humor and fun banter and real life issues, which I'm loving. So there's that. And then also, since I last spoke, I have finished up an audiobook, and I've just been listening to that like on my commutes to and from work and things, so that's why I was able to get through that one. I only started it on Monday, I'm pretty sure, but that was Ruthless Vows, which is the second and final book in the Divine Rivals duology. And I actually was quite disappointed in that one. I just finished it on my drive home. I'm just back from the Blue Mountains. My sister just touched up my hair so that it's fresh right before we leave for Europe on Monday. But yeah, it's like an hour drive home, and I finished that. And I haven't decided yet, but I think I'm gonna rate it 3 stars, which is so disappointing because I loved Divine Rivals, but this one, boring. I just didn't really care. I need to get my thoughts together a little bit more about it, but I really just didn't care. There was this plot point that happened right at the end of Divine Rivals that basically the way that the relationship wrapped up in Divine Rivals I wasn't a fan of, but then this like cliffhanger right at the end happened that made me be like, oh, that might make this second one more exciting. And that plot did, I can't say too much obviously because I don't want to give spoilers for Divine Rivals, but that plot did happen in this one. That's how we started, in this kind of like devastating way, but I just didn't care. I don't know why. I still loved all of the characters. There were all of the people that I had like fallen in love with in the first book, both the main characters, Roman and Iris, as well as the little side characters that we get to know. I loved them all still. And the plot was kind of interesting, but I just found myself really zoning out of it a lot. And I don't normally do that too often in audiobooks. I'm not sure if I read it maybe at the wrong time because I have been very distracted this week, obviously, and a little bit stressed just with trying to get everything in my life wrapped up. But shocked that I didn't love it. The very ending of the book, which I just listened to on the way home, there was this one big thing that happened that made me really, really upset. That was probably the biggest emotion that came out of me in this entire book. But the romance, just a bit boring. The plot was also a little bit boring, even though these huge things were happening and it was an intense plot. I just didn't care. It was weird. But yeah, I still want to give Rebecca Ross another shot because I did love Divine Rivals, and I own another one of her series, which is the trilogy, The River Enchanted is the first book, and I'm very excited to get to that. So I don't know what happened there, but just not my favorite. But then also on this drive, because I finished that kind of in the middle of my drive and I still had something like half an hour left, I randomly was just kind of quickly scrolling through my my library holds on Libby, and one of the ones that I had ready to go was Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I didn't even look into the plot. I don't know if I've even heard of the plot of what this one was before starting it, but I love most of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, and I love her audiobooks because they're done by Julia Whelan, who I just know I'm going to enjoy any book that she narrates. And so I just decided to start it, and I think I got about 10% into it, and I spent pretty much the second half of that trip bawling my eyes out. I don't know if I am a little bit sensitive at the moment because I'm just exhausted. Like, it's been a big week. I am emotionally just kind of like stressed because of, you know, trying to get everything ready, and I'm a little bit, you know, stressed about the long plane ride that we're gonna get on Monday. But the start of that, I've never experienced the emotions that I experienced just now right at the start of a book. Like, I'm kind of shocked, and it's making me nervous about what the rest of the book is about, because basically what we've experienced so far is we follow the main character, who I'm already forgetting her name. Yeah, I'm already forgetting all the characters' names, but we follow the main character who right at the start of the book, we witness her being in this loving relationship. She's just hanging out at home in their apartment together. She mentions that she feels like Fruity Pebbles, that she's hungry and they don't have any cereal left. So her husband goes out to the shops to buy her Fruity Pebbles, and he never comes back. And then like the next few chapters, I think, is her accepting the fact that her husband, her new husband, has just passed away. He was hit on his bike by a car, and that's like right at the start. And then we kind of go back and forth between the chapters where she's grieving and meeting her mother-in-law for the first time, and then we go back in time to the start of that year where she is meeting Ben. I remember Ben, his name's where she's meeting Ben for the first time, and it's just really intense. I'm really, really loving it so far. In the past chapters, I really love Ben, and their relationship is so wholesome. So far, I've only experienced like their first date, but it's this first date that lasts an entire day, and they go on this adventure together, and it's just so wholesome, and I love him and her together. So the fact that we know where this ends up is so sad, but then when we go back, and the way that it's written and the way that Julia Whelan is also portraying everything, it feels so intense and so sad, and I was just bawling my eyes out. I just didn't expect it because I didn't know I just thought I was clicking on a romance to read, but I do know, obviously, it's Taylor Jenkins Reid. Her romances are never just simple, sweet romances. But yeah, those are my little updates. I have obviously just tonight and then this weekend, and then we leave for Europe on Monday. So I'm hoping to finish up Daddy Issues probably tonight, and then I haven't decided yet, but I might start Book of Night by Holly Black, because that is the other book that I want to finish this month. If not, I'll start that on the plane because I have the Kindle book downloaded as well. But other than that, my only plans for the weekend are just to finish getting everything ready and to pack. And now that this week is finally over, I've finished up with work and everything is kind of settling, like I'm a little bit ready to go now. I feel a bit more calm about everything, and I'm finally just starting to get excited for the fact that I'm leaving in a couple of days. So I don't know how many more times I'll check in this weekend, but if I do any more reading, I'll let you know. I'm checking in. It's Saturday morning and I have some updates. So I finished Daddy Issues last night, and I literally think I had like 15 pages left of it. So I just finished that off and the ending was really cute. I think I'm going to land on about a 4.5 stars for this one. I really liked it. I really loved the communication. I think I've talked about this one enough in this vlog now, but the ending was really cute and overall it was just a really fun, sweet romance, and it had some witty banter, and I liked both. I definitely liked Nick a lot more than Sam, but I liked all the characters in it and it was a fun time. So now I'm really glad that I have this cute special edition of it to keep on my shelves. But I finished that last night and then I immediately decided to pick up Book of Night because this is the second last book on my May TBR now, and we got a bit distracted. We ended up watching movies last night, but I got like a couple of chapters in, and first of all I really love the inside of this book. It's so pretty, but I don't have too many thoughts yet. Obviously I'm only a few pages in, but something I didn't expect is the fact that this is actually set in our world. It's set in like a modern, I think it seems like New York or some American city, and they've spoken about Los Angeles. I thought it was going to be more of a fantasy world, but it seems like this is an urban fantasy, which is cool. And I am so far intrigued with the whole shadow magic situation. She started explaining it. So we're in the perspective of Charlie, and I think she used to be some sort of a shadow magic thief, but it seems like she's kind of retired from that world and she's trying to live a really low-key life as like a bartender. But yeah, she started to explain the different types of shadow magic that people can have, and some of it can be really dangerous. Like some people can use their shadows to do things like help them to fly. Some people can use their shadows to alter other people's shadows or their own shadows, I think. So like for fashion reasons or for other reasons. There's a girl at the bar that she's at who has like devil horns and wings on her shadows. So that's something that if you're rich, you can pay to have done, which is kind of cool. She also mentioned the fact that some people can like send their shadows off to do things for them in secret. So yeah, we haven't got too much context on it, but it's intriguing me so far, and I'm interested to see where she's obviously going to get back into this world that she has left and go on some kind of an adventure. At the moment, she just seems very reluctant. She just wants to be living this very simple life, living on the straight and narrow. So yeah, it's intriguing me, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to read this weekend before I go, because we've got a kind of a busy couple of days. Like we don't have anything planned, but I want to go to the shops today, and we still need to book a few things for the trip, so we need to sit down and do that at some point this weekend and just get packed. I don't want to leave anything to Monday. I want to have everything sorted by Monday and then just be ready to go. So I've got this already downloaded onto my Kindle, and I think I will be continuing it on the plane, which is so exciting. And I'm really glad that when I was reading it last night, I was really intrigued by the writing style is good. Charlie's perspective seems interesting, and I want to learn more about the magic system. So yeah, I think this one could keep me interested on the first flight. I'm pretty happy with the books that I ended up reading this week, and I'm glad I started this vlog because it really pushed me to get through a couple of the books that were on my TBR from the TBR jar video. I only have one book that I don't think I'm going to get to, and that was Culty, but that's fine. I'll just put that back on my TBR and I can get to it another month. And I also did finish 1.5 audiobooks. I finished the second book in the Divine Rivals duology, which was a bit of a disappointment, but I'm still glad that I got through it so that I can read the prequel to that series at some point on the flights as well, because I really want to read that really soon. And I haven't really got any further into the Taylor Jenkins Reid book, Forever Interrupted. I spoke a little bit about that yesterday, and I haven't had any time to listen to that. My goal is to try and finish that while I am packing so that I don't have to worry about like it's done, because I don't think I'm going to really have time to be listening to audiobooks while I'm away. So I think I'm going to end the vlog here just because I don't anticipate reading any more this weekend. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. I'm not sure if I'm going to be filming anything while I'm away. I'm going to try and do my May wrap up at some point if I have some kind of a balcony setting or somewhere in one of my hotels that I can set up and talk about the books that I read this month. Other than that, I'm just excited to have this 5-week holiday. I'm so excited for some of the places we're going. It's gonna be amazing and I'm so excited. So yeah, thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.